banned, having application and content, and of course an independent regulator.
As regards the impact of ICT on job creation and entrepreneurship, several speakers elaborated on it. These include Aissatou Mane of RLG, who particularly dilated on entrepreneurship development.
We are currently working on a project with the support of the various municipalities that will roll out 200 kiosks across the entire country. The first 10 of these kiosks will be deployed within the next 2 weeks. This project will create employment opportunities for both sales agents and technicians, and also bring quality and affordable communication devices, including feature phones, smartphones, laptops, and tablets, right to the doorstep of every Gambian.
The global revolution in mobile communications, along with rapid advances in digital payment systems, is creating opportunities to connect poor households to affordable and reliable financial tools through mobile phones and other digital interfaces. In fact, research has shown that the most effective way to expand significantly poor people's access to formal financial services is through digital means.
In relation to their participation in this event and the overall goal of the business organization, certificates were also presented to various institutions by this edutainment program by American Chamber of Commerce. As embedded in its aims and objectives, AmCham, the Gambia, seeks, among other things, to improve the interest and economic vitality of businesses through networking, partnership, and enterprise development. In this regard, its ambition of enhancing quality life for people and their associate businesses in the Gambia may well be in the right track. Modou Bajan, GRTS News.
Well, the demand for ferry service will be extremely high during the Gamo period. A news release from the management of Gambia Ports Authority states that due to the limited ferry service, all heavy goods, vehicle owners and articulated trucks are therefore advised to use the Trans-Gambia crossing point. GPA solicits the understanding of the general public and apologizes for any inconvenience caused, the dispatch concludes. Officials of the Participatory Integrated Watershed Management Project, the Sustainable Land Management Project, and the National Agricultural Land and Water Management Project have been reviewing the performance of the 3 interventions. Babukar Kamara reports. The synergy also identified and charted a new way forward.
In bringing together farmer representatives across the Gambia with aim of discussing about the project's performance, constraints, and the way forward. In his welcome remarks, the Deputy Governor of Lower River Region, Mr. Abdunjai, commended the project officials for organizing such an insightful forum. He stated that the projects are here to play a part in the realization of food self-sufficiency. Njai challenged participants to take the meeting seriously and further urged them to ask whatever they want to know concerning the project activities, since they are representing people. The project coordinator of NEMA, Mamadou Gassama, gave an overview of the 3 projects. He noted that the PUAM is an 8-year-old project that has registered tremendous success and should end in 6 months' time. He further went to say that NEMA has come to consolidate the developments made by PUAM and continue with its activities. Gassama commended farmers for the large turnout and also encouraged them to participate fully in the forum. In delivering the opening remarks, the Deputy Permanent Secretary, Projects and Program, Ministry of Agriculture, Assimi Cole, described the event as a face-to-face forum between farmers and agricultural officers. Mr. Cole described the forum as very timely, as it is taking place at a time that will enable the project officials and farmers to plan for the next cropping season. He also enjoined participants to relay information gained from the forum to their people. Babukar Kamara, GRTS.
The framework agreement between the Agribusiness Service and Producers Association, ASPAR, and the government of the Gambia has expired, and government will not renew the partnership. A news release from the Office of the President reveals that ASPA is no longer purchasing groundnuts on behalf of the government of the Gambia. Henceforth, the dispatched Gambia Groundnut Corporation, GGC, is the recognized official operator for government in the groundnut trade business. We will be back with news from outside the Gambia after this break.
99? Yes! Yes!
Chromium Super Savers.
99 bucks a minute. No need to look at the number you're calling. Just make sure it's your Chromium phone you're calling with. Unbelievably cheaper to call with your Chromium number.
Terms and conditions apply. First minute is regular rate. Any minute added enjoys this offer. One of the many reasons we say your credit lasts longer with Chromium.
Chromium. We are better together.
Welcome back, and now to the news outside the Gambia. In his new memoir, the former U.S. Defense Secretary Robert Gates claims that President Barack Obama had lost faith in his policy on the war in Afghanistan, and the president is not the only one singled out in this criticism. CNN reports that the book is already weighing in Washington.
Book titled Duty, Memories of a Secretary at War, the former defense secretary delivers an unfiltered, sometimes scathing critique of the White House. On Afghanistan, the New York Times and Washington Post report, Gates writes that by early 2010, he had concluded the president, quote, doesn't believe in his own strategy and doesn't consider the war to be his. For him, it's all about getting out. The papers report that Gates, who served under both Presidents Bush and Obama, grew concerned about the president changing course, and that the president was, quote, skeptical, if not outright convinced it would fail. Though Gates also says he, quote, never doubted Obama's support for the troops, only his support for their mission. The book is not set for release until January 14th, but late today, both papers published detailed stories about its content. Gates is especially hard on Obama's advisors, the papers report, calling Vice President Joe Biden, quote, a man of integrity, but arguing, quote, he has been wrong on nearly every major foreign policy and national security issue over the past 4 decades. At times, Gates is more flattering of Obama, praising him for making decisions, quote, opposed by his political advisors or that would be unpopular with his fellow Democrats. That's something Gates hinted applied to the president's war-making decisions to CNN's John King in 2012.
I think the reality is that there is an acknowledgement on people's part around the world that this president is willing to use military force when our needs require it.
And he calls the president's decision to launch the raid that killed Osama bin Laden, despite Gates' own doubts, quote, one of the most courageous decisions I had ever witnessed in the White House. On his former colleague Hillary Clinton, Gates makes a potentially damaging charge to a 2016 presidential run, saying, quote, Hillary told the president that her opposition to the 2007 surge in Iraq had been political because she was facing Obama in the Iowa primary. The White House has now responded to some of the comments in the book, a spokesperson for the National Security Council saying, quote, the president welcomes differences of view among his national security team and wishes Secretary Gates well. However, the White House does push back hard on the strong criticism of Vice President Biden, saying the president relies on his good counsel every day. Jim Sciutto, CNN, Washington.
Civilians caught up in the fighting between the different factions in the Central African Republic are fleeing for their lives. The landlocked country used to be the adopted home of many Africans, especially those from West Africa. Now efforts have been made to repatriate them to their countries of origin. Let's look at the CFI report for more on that.
Personal items in bundles and bags and a lot of patience. These displaced people have taken refuge at the Senegalese embassy in Bangui. It's from here that they are hoping to go back home, to Mali. I'm of Malian nationality. I was born here. I grew up here. And now, they are chasing us out. Interethnic violence ravaging Bangui is forcing these West Africans to go back to their home countries. It's the only way they'll be safe.
As soon as our first countrymen arrive on Malian soil, they will be entirely taken care of.
Once they cross into the airport zone, they start thinking about the future.
We were scared, but when calm returns, we'll come back. And we are praying for happiness to return.